Hello everybody, how is it going? I wanted to stay up really late tonight to watch Bitcoin. I haven't really been getting a lot of sleep lately because, what can I say? I'm obsessed with crypto, right? Once you have an obsession and a passion for something, it's very difficult to turn it off, especially when it comes to loving something so much that you don't see it as work, right? You see it as a pure hobby, and that's all that it is. So I really hope that we all find a passion in life that we love doing and we can do it for free. I've always been told before, right, that the best job to have would be a job that you would do for free, that you feel like you don't go in for work. It's something that you just love being there, and that's how I see crypto. And because of this attitude that I have towards crypto and my enthusiasm towards it, I hope that it rubs off on other people as well, because of many reasons, right? One, it's a video game that you play. If you guys are gamers, you will never ever play a game again once you get hooked on trading. And secondly, we want to encourage an awesome environment in cryptocurrency. And there's no doubt in my mind that cryptocurrency is here to stay. You know, I want to be very clear about something, okay, guys? I don't even think I've said this once yet, all right? But my long-term goal, when I say long-term, I'm talking about by the end of this year, 2019, like, you know, January 2019, my prediction is about $30,000 for Bitcoin, okay? Now remember what I said there. Bitcoin will reach $30,000 this year, at least. And I'm not just pulling a number out of my hat. It's from fairly good extrapolation as well. And if you also do some research online and look at really good analysts online, long-term projection, guys, we are golden. So we just have to remember that for every major run up, when we go from $700 to $20,000, guys, that is some massive, massive, massive gains. We're talking like 2,800% or something in literally like 7-8 months. So we should actually appreciate these times where there's a massive correction, because it gives a lot of value to these altcoins that are really cheap right now. It also gives us a very valuable learning experience, more importantly. I don't think a lot of us, or most of you, I would imagine, right, are probably new to cryptocurrency. It's becoming a lot more mainstream and widely adopted this year because, well, Bitcoin is not as interesting when it's $700 like in early 2017. But when Bitcoin is over $10,000, well, that's a pretty cool number, right? And that's where people will start to get interested. 5,000, it was on the news. 10,000, it was on the news. 15,000, it was on the news. And now a lot more people are coming into the scene. And because you guys are new in the scene, you have to appreciate these moments where there are massive corrections like this. If you guys were around when it hit the all-time high near 19,000-20,000, these moments must be treated as the most valuable time to learn, because we might not have this type of correction again. So I really do hope that in the future, if we do get these types of corrections, you guys know exactly how to be much more cautious and how to approach the market with a very different mentality of caution and perhaps adding shorting to your game as well. So Bitcoin right now, to me, is in limbo, of course. It's still in a correction phase right now, but I personally think that this correction is one of the most healthy corrections that I have seen. And it doesn't scare me one bit, even if we have a little bit more of a bearish scenario, which I'm pretty bearish right now still. I have to admit, like, I do think we're gonna see some pretty low numbers. I still stand by my targets of between, you know, $8,000 to $9,000, unfortunately. And you guys go to Steemit, right? The best analysts are honestly on Steemit. They don't post on TradingView like a lot of other people, okay? They keep to the community where they want it to thrive. They go to Steemit, they post their analysis there, and as well. And I don't know if you guys know, but I want to show you guys something that I'm going to be added to very soon, which is pretty good news, I suppose. So let me just show you guys really quickly, where you guys will see me featured a lot more now as well. I'm just trying to find my blog here. And by the way, if you guys enjoy these posts of mine and these regular updates, I would really appreciate an update on, or sorry, a vote on, I can't speak properly apparently right now, an update on wow, I really can't speak, guys. An upvote on Steam, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share this stuff as well on YouTube and on Twitter. So I'll be added to this list very soon, I'm hoping, because I would like to provide more for the community. This person actually has an amazing blog that he posts quite often where he does a summary of all the analysts as well. So I'll be featured on Swiss Chris's page as well here now. He's a very prominent figure in the cryptocurrency community. He takes analysis from a lot of top analysts out there, and he composes a summary of what everyone thinks. And of course, I have to agree with these guys as well. I want you guys to know, and these are traders and investors and analysts that I highly respect. And these guys are all aiming for 30K and up, basically. I'm also looking for a $30,000 scenario as well long term, but we're not here to talk about long term, right? We're here to talk about what's going to happen in the next few days, because I am a day trader, and despite my specific focus on day trading, I also want to look at the long-term picture as well to provide a very different type of, or to focus on many different types of demographics. So anyways, enough for my spiel there. I like to talk to myself because I see you guys as my friends, especially the people that comment regularly. So I really enjoy, like, you know, my favorite poster lately, commenter, is Adolf Hipster. That's right, this is how you spell his name, okay? He's probably watching this video right now. I love your comments, Adolf. Adolf, something like that, like Hipster is his name. And yeah, he's like this hipster. That's so funny. Every time he comments, just makes me like break out laughing. Excuse me, I gotta cough really quickly. So, where did we finish for the day, and why am I doing an update at this time? Because it's kind of a critical time right now, guys. What we've noticed, like I've been mentioning for a few days now, is that this RSI right here is acting as a support, right? It's acting as a support. We finally broke out of it from a bearishly diverging RSI, which looked pretty good, right? But unfortunately, we could not retain this uptrend. Make sure that you guys also see RSI as support, as resistances, and yes, trend lines can absolutely apply to RSI. In fact, that's a very advanced way to evaluate and analyze RSI. So I've always looked at it like this, and I find RSI as one of the more easy tools to learn, but very hard to master. You have to think of relative strength index as a way of gauging the market's strength in general, right? Sometimes you might see a series of higher candles, like price action wise, you'll see higher highs, for example, right? But you might see lower highs on the RSI. And we've seen that many times before on IOTA, where we just kept getting ending fifth wave diagonals with higher highs, but the RSI was always slowly dying, and that's when I was able to call the top pretty much every time for IOTA when it was under $2 there, right? Or under $1 rather. So now we're using this sloped line right here, which I will highlight in yellow here. This line right here is now a major support for RSI, right? And then it's most likely going to wedge right into the specific area right here. So now we are almost in limbo in terms of not being able to gain any type of strength yesterday, okay? I know it was only a day, but we were not able to gain really any strength at all in the market. So now it definitely does concern me a little bit. It should concern the market in general. So let's talk about the volume as well now, okay? So we're going to use a bunch of factors to see what type of, how the market is generally feeling, right? And if you guys look right now in the market cap in general, we've actually gone down heavily, guys. We have gone down extremely heavily. $517,000 or $517 billion market cap. Remember a few days ago I was saying that 600 billion would have been a very nice number to be at. Unfortunately, we've dropped down about $25 billion in recently, so it's not really the best way to look at the market, right? If we look at the volume here, let's take a look here. I think Monday was probably the highest day, I'm guessing. Monday was the 29th. Let's see what the 29th was. Actually, no, the 30th was. Okay, so we closed off, you know, the week there on the 28th, and then the 29th and the 30th, they got Like 30th got decent volume yesterday, right? But now if we look at today's volume compared to yesterday's, $8 billion on average, we're down quite a bit right now already. And keep in mind, this is the 24-hour average, right? So despite us saying we're up 1.4%, it's very relative as well, right? Depends on where we finished off at that day. So I'm not really happy with the volume whatsoever right now at all. We still see OKX as the #1 exchange right now, 422. Bitfinex really dropped the ball at 332 million here. I'm just making a joke. You guys, okay, please take this as 100% as a joke, okay? So don't take this joke seriously at all, but I'm gonna make it. Maybe Bitfinex ran out of a tether, you know, to print or something like that, and they just couldn't pump up Bitcoin anymore. I'm just joking, guys. Completely joking. I have no opinion of Tether. Just making a complete joke with Bitfinex and Tether because it's a funny joke in general, right? So yeah, so now that we have an idea of where the market is right now, last time we were range bound, guys, it was really irritating, right? Do you guys remember when we were pretty much range bound? I'm just going to clear out everything actually to make it look pretty here for you guys. So last time we were range bound, we were kind of in this freaking section right here, right? We were in this area right here, and it was just like, okay, we're just range bound right here, can't really do anything for a while. So this whole area right here, we were just waiting for it to do something, right? Now this is what I call a typical throwover. And what a throwover is it's a misleading way, or it's a misleading attempt to for an uptrend, right? You can almost compare it to a bull trap as well. So they end up throwing you over to the top there, right? They'll push the market up, but as they're pushing the market up, people are also loading up onto their short positions as well. So it's a considered a throwover. People load up into their short position, and we saw what happened right there, okay? Now, we're going to go take a look at Bitfinex shorts right now, okay? The short positions are kind of coming down a little bit. It's kind of coming down like a tiny bit right now, but still at roughly the same amount there, at about 24,000 Bitcoins that are short right now on Bitfinex. And the longs are, yeah, it's not much at all, guys. Not many longs have been loaded up. So we're still at about 24,000 Bitcoins short versus 25,000 Bitcoins long right now. So it gives you a really good gauge of the market that it's, the bears are pushing it down right now, okay? They are very content with pushing the market down right now, and the bulls are not really having that much of a defense, okay? So now what we notice here as well on the hourly chart is that, notice right here, I noted this area, right? This is a critical support that it was. Support bounced there, not really much there, right? And now what we notice is now this becomes kind of a critical zone here in general now. So if we also look over here, if I take a range, say from around this wick right here, what we notice is now we are now range bound again, guys, and we have been so for about 48 hours now, okay? So I'm looking for a break. A break is going to happen one way or the other, and as a very short-term day trader, regardless of which way it goes, I will gladly short the market. Now, for the people that don't understand what shorting the market is, I will summarize it very quickly for you. What shorting the market means is you are entering a margin position to borrow shares or coins from the exchange, right? So if you were to enter a short position at $10,000 for one Bitcoin only, if you entered a short position, you would want to buy it back at a cheaper price, and then you pay back the exchange, or the funders, their one Bitcoin, and then you keep the difference in dollar value. So if you paid $10,000 for a short, and then you closed your position, your short position, by buying one Bitcoin at $9,000, you give the one Bitcoin back to the exchange, or it goes basically back to the lender, right? Because it's going through a funding account. And then you keep the profit of the $1,000 whether it's $1,000 or you can keep the difference in a Bitcoin, for example. Because obviously, with if you bought one Bitcoin, right, with 9K, you can get more than one Bitcoin for 9K. Right? You can get, say, 1.1 worth for the same amount as $10,000. So just to give people a quick idea of what shorting is, it's much more complicated matter than that. What I would recommend you guys do is take a look at my leveraging and shorting video that I will link at the end of this video. Not that I encourage shorting, don't get me wrong, but it's always good to understand how a market can work and how bears can make money as well, right? Because the concept of shorting is not just selling it and then buy back cheaper. It's not really that simple as well. It has a lot to do with lenders and funders as well, and borrowing shares or coins from the exchange, which is actually from the lenders, okay? So now I'm looking for a break, guys. I'm looking for a break somewhere, you know. Let's be real here. It could be up there, right? It could be down here as well. But right now, guys, I still believe long term, okay, long term, that we are still going to get this scenario, and you guys are not going to like me for saying this, but we have to acknowledge the fact that we are not getting any steam, guys. This candle right here, it's not a very convincing candle. If you guys want it to be considered a support candle, so let's go over that. The daily candle right here, it actually closed with a nice little hammer doji, right? Pretty good candle that closed there, but the volume is what is driving me nuts right now. The volume is driving me so nuts right now, and it's so range bound right now that I simply cannot see it going up. Usually the bears and the bulls, they put up a really good fight, right? If the bulls were putting up a big fight, there would be some long wicks that would go up, right? Imagine a hockey team that is always like, there's two teams and they're playing hockey. I'm Canadian. I can talk about hockey, guys. I'm Asian, but I also love hockey, and I love the Winnipeg Jets, just so you guys know, all right? So imagine a hockey team, okay, where one team is always attacking, right? And the other team is only defending, right? And they're not really attacking much at all. Think of it that way. How long can the team defending really defend for before the team on the offense takes over? Think of it like this as well. How many times can we keep pounding at a support level before it finally gets broken, right? The only way we can successfully defend in this game is also by attacking. So the bulls have to make an attack as well. Have you guys noticed that I use a lot of analogies, and I love the fights between the bulls and the bears? Do you guys know why they're called the bulls and the bears? Okay. Well, first of all, from a long time ago, they used to pit, bulls and bears in matches against each other, first of all. And also a bull attacks with his horns by think of him, scooping downwards and then up to lift you up, right? So bulls want to push a market up, and bears, they swipe with their claws downwards, right? They're swiping down. So the mentality of a bear comes in many ways. One mentality of a bear is to sell your big holdings, right, so you can buy it cheaper. And the other mentality of a bear is to short the market and enter into leverage margin short positions, right? So if enough people are shorting the market, that's how we're seeing all of these go up. So that short table is a very implicative data that we're getting. So there's a lot of different factors that we need to look at as well right now. So the way I'm seeing it is that, unfortunately, I see lots of wicks down there, but I don't see volume, guys. Like, volume, it needs to pick up. They gotta give us a good hurrah. They gotta defend by attacking. A good defense is a good offense, if that's even a saying in crypto, but really a good defense is good offense in crypto, the way I see it. So despite this getting a hammer candle, sometimes a hammer can be misleading, right? It might imply that the bears are slightly losing control, but it's also hard to believe that if we don't see conviction like that, guys. And volume slowly waning off worries me indeed. Now let's go to a lower time frame, okay? Let's go to a lower time frame. What we are seeing on, for example, a 4-hour chart is definitely bullish divergence. No doubt about that at all, okay? But what do you guys notice about this? Can you tell me what you notice about this, please? What shape does this make? I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to answer. Tell me what shape this makes if it were a candle. Think about it, guys. Just think about it very, very, very carefully, okay? I'm going to give you guys some time still. What shape does this make? And remember how I told you that RSI, you can use very complex patterns for RSI as well. Do you guys know what shape this is? This is a flag. This is an inverted flag, okay? This is on a 4-hour chart. This is a normal flag right here. Hey, by the way, if anybody could help me with this, I would really appreciate it. You know how, like, on TradingView, usually if you clicked on, for example, this tool right here, right, you can click on here, and then left click, and then when you're done, you should be able to left click and then do the exact same thing. But now I have to go to this option every time, draw a line. When I'm done, I have to go to this option again, draw a line. See what I mean? Do you guys see what I mean? I have to go to this option every single time. It was never like this before the update, and I've got no idea how to fix it because I'm not really savvy with these kind of things, mainly because I'm lazy as well. So if someone has a quick answer to that, I'd really appreciate it, guys, because I don't, despite me being an engineer, and I should be really good with software, there's a massive part of me as well that's so lazy that I just cannot muster up the energy to even figure out simple things like that. Like the very complicated things in charting, I will spend all my brain power doing it. But when it comes to simple things, like I just cannot focus. Like it's extremely weird to talk about. But if anyone has a solution for that, I'd really appreciate it. Like I've looked, but I just cannot find it anywhere. Like, is it stay in drawing mode or something? Like, oh my goodness, I just figured it out. Holy crap. It's actually stay in drawing. Oh my goodness, I feel like an idiot now. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so for the people that want to know, right, this is the stay in drawing mode feature, right? You can just keep doing this. But if you actually go out of, like, it literally reset every single thing when they did the update. But if you take the drawing mode off, now you can't do it. You gotta click on here every time. So, okay. So thank you very much for, I really appreciate you guys. What would I do without you guys? I mean, without asking you guys, I probably wouldn't have figured it out. I felt kind of embarrassed for not even being able to figure it out, so I guess I checked again, and yeah, thank you very much for the help there, guys. I wouldn't have done it without you, yeah. So I do see this as a bearish flag, guys. Like, I do see this as a bearish flag so badly right now. So when I draw my resistance, guys, for RSI, this is going to be the key RSI that I'm going to look for, okay? You guys have to treat RSI as a very complex pattern as well. And that's when it's going to really step up your game, guys. Like, I kid you not, okay? It is really, really going to step up your game. So the next RSI point that I will be looking for is right here, and that's basically tomorrow. It's very soon actually. Like it's in, I'm probably guessing in a few days, like tomorrow morning or the next day, we should most likely maybe reach a peak. Who knows? We might not even reach there. It might only reach here, then just boom, come down. But we have to acknowledge the fact that this is a flag, guys, and there's no other way to look at it right now, right? So that definitely worries me a little bit that it's a bearish flag that's forming on the Bitcoin chart right now. So what this basically means to me is this, okay? Despite us looking like we're going to tick up here a little bit, I really doubt that we're going to get higher than 40, 45 RSI or something before we start downtrending. I cannot possibly see this working out, guys, where we're going to break out of it upwards. If we do, it might be very temporary. I mean, if we do, maybe, like, I think the highest we'll reach, to be completely honest, and you guys might hate me for saying it, but if we do break out of there, then there's no way we're going to get over $14,400. Like, I just cannot see us getting higher than that at all, guys. And the only reason I say it might even reach there is maybe this guy right here, like, this one right here that's going up there, okay? Just a little bit though, and then we'll eventually reach an RSI peak, and then unfortunately we will downtrend after that. Because if we just remove every single drawing tool here right now, I apologize if my TA has been getting a lot longer. We also have to keep in mind that our compensation in cryptocurrency, in trading, and in investing is also directly proportional to how much work we also put in, okay? And TA is not a matter of blindly following someone. You guys need to also formulate your own opinion. And when you guys think about cryptocurrency enough, I guarantee that you guys are going to find loopholes in my TA, in other people's TA, because I count on people for that. And then eventually you'll formulate your own opinion. And the best part about crypto, actually the worst part about crypto, is we improve our game by finding fault in others, right? Do you know what I mean? When we make mistakes, we learn the most. And when we see other people make mistakes as well, we learn the most as well. So the way I'm seeing this, guys, is pretty much like this right now, right? Seeing it as kind of like that. So the bearish scenario still 100% stands. Okay, the bearish scenario is, firstly, we will go into this zone first of all. I mean, we can ask yourself this, okay? The bulls, the bears really want to push it down, and we can tell based on the volume that's just dying right now, right? And we ask ourselves, well, the bulls are defending above 10K right now, but how much longer can they really defend for? Okay, if they were defending for 2 days already, well, you know what, they gotta attack a little bit by pushing it up, right? But there's no attack, guys. There's really no attack at all right now, all right? So yeah, and I also see like this as well, right, where it's just massively downtrending like that in here. So if we look at this very closely right now, something is about to happen literally in the next few hours, guys. Like, this is the most critical part that's about to happen very soon. I mean, this part right in here. So I hope that you guys are paying attention to these TA that I'm putting out, because the ultimate goal is to have the people that really want to succeed, and the people that really want to focus on crypto and make this a passion or a great way to subsidize your income, right? You guys need to take it seriously, because as much as people might think that, like, oh great, I get to stay home and I get to work, and I joke about being in my underwear and stuff like that, and I joke about how it's just a hobby, but at the same time, we take this, we live and we eat and we breathe crypto, right? It's my life, guys. I love crypto, and I can't even explain how much I love it. If I didn't have crypto in my life, I'd probably be pretty upset, I think, right? Like, imagine taking your favorite hobby away. So not only do I love charting, but I see it as a puzzle. You have to understand that, okay? Think of, you guys like puzzles? You know what I mean? You like playing Sudoku or just board games in general, right? That's what charting is. It's this massive freaking puzzle that you need to take a look at from so many different perspectives. And if you guys solve the puzzle and you get really good at it, guess what the reward is? It's money. So it's kind of a cool thing as well at the same time, right? So 30 minutes of these videos of mine might very well impact 30% or something, right, of your profits. A simple, like when I do these TAs for 30 minutes a day, per video or whatever, it's also, it's honestly for me as well, right? I have to do these TA, so I'm gonna share my thoughts with other people as well, since I've got to do it anyways for myself. So in a way, yes, it's good to benefit the community, but we also have to, I hope you guys also understand that this is also for myself as well, because I do this full time for a living, right? So yeah, like, I see this as a descending triangle. Like, I got no other way to see it, guys. Like, I literally have no freaking other way to see it right now at all. Like, it's just really crazy right now the way I'm seeing it, right? Like, I mean, if I go to like a 4-hour chart or something here as well, it's just Like, it's really hard to count the Elliott waves here for subwaves wise as well. There's just really no proper way to see it. What we see is that the bulls are attempting to push it up, and then they're just getting rejected like right away. Like, look at this, from 1,145 to 10,300. I meant, so it's a $150 rejection, like very, very fast as well, you know. So now we're gonna wait for this breakout, guys, and I'll be very, very clear about this, okay? That this breakout could happen one or the other, right? I would be very happy if we got a bullish scenario. We enter in confirmation here. So, do you guys think that like crypto is getting a lot more serious over the past few months? I know that I've been seeing a lot more faces, a lot more comments, which I really appreciate, coming to my channel on YouTube and on Twitter. At the same time, like, I hope you guys are starting to see how much more serious you guys are getting into it. I've seen some of you guys a few months back who like knew nothing about crypto. Now all of a sudden you guys like know a lot going on in the market, right? And you're like living, eating, and breathing crypto now. So it's pretty freaking crazy how I'm starting to see you guys also partake in my addiction here with charting. So here's the bullish scenario, right? Here's a bullish scenario, which I don't think is really gonna happen. Like, it might happen because of that 4-hour chart curving over. So if there's a bullish scenario, first of all, we gotta meet some crazy targets, right? We gotta, not crazy targets, but resistances. We gotta at least break through these ranges right here first, I'd say, right around 10,900, 10,800 or something. And then if that breaks, guys, sure, we'll talk about the 14K scenario, okay? We'll talk about the 14K scenario somewhere, I don't know, somewhere up there. I'd say more like 13K first. Let's shoot for 13K, right? Then you guys can ride it to maybe right here if we do go long and the volume starts to pick up, right? 2-hour volume, the volume picked up a little bit, I have to admit that. What I highly recommend is that people take some profit. We have to learn how to ladder our profits, like how we learn how to ladder and accumulate during buys as well in the accumulation phase of Dow theory, right? So it's highly advised that you do take some of the house money, right? Take some of your profits when we reach a very critical resistance area. You will be very happy, I assure you. I want to remind everybody that trading is a very mental game. You have to remain calm, you have to remain diligent, and you have to make sure you check your emotions always. Now, what I will tell you guys, this that you might not even know, but subconsciously, guys, you will be a much better trader if you secure some of your profits when we reach a critical resistance area. Subconsciously, you will just acknowledge the fact that you've taken some profit and you'll feel so good about it, and you'll actually be able to make better decisions and there's less pressure. Are you really ready to have that kind of exposure of being in a solid position? But you know, you might be overexposed in the market if you are holding too long, right? So I'm not a fan of overexposure in the market. I do like to secure my profits, some of it, when I reach a very critical point. It lets me reevaluate my risk to reward ratio as well. It lets me feel a lot better about being not as exposed in the market. I know that I've profited something, it's been secured, it's been guaranteed, and now I'm using some of my actual profits to perhaps buy back into a position on strength if it actually does end up trending upwards even more. So I will be looking to play this position if it breaks out, guys. I'd be silly not to take this trade, right? Once we break out of here, let's just acknowledge this first of all. Once we break out of here, if we do, what was previously a resistance is now support, right? And this right here will now be a support, obviously. So am I going to take this tiny little trade for a possible 8.49% gain? Yeah, absolutely, I'm going to take it for a possible 1.77% loss. Risk to reward ratio of about 4.81. Beautiful long trade right here, right? Now, we're not going to know really until we know. And when we know, guys, either I'll be up to tweet about it, or you guys will just see it break out of this pattern right here, which I highly advise you to take a look at. But be careful of the throwovers, okay? So that was one reward scenario, risk to reward scenario. And of course, the other scenario is simple. Enter in confirmation right here. So I do believe that the bulls and the bears are actually going to make money, guys. The bulls and the bears are going to make money, an immense amount, I think. Either way, just make sure that you guys are not sheep, okay? You set your stop loss slightly higher than it, maybe at about, I don't know, mine would probably be at about 10,100, and I will gladly, if we break out of there, shoot for like 9,300 range right here. Now, do you guys know where the 8K scenario still comes in, okay? Let me show you where the $8,000 scenario comes from still. Let's go to daily chart right here. Let's assume we're just going to take some of it and consider it as a bear trap as well, or very oversold regions perhaps. So I got this zone right here, guys. I got this zone right here, where this is still apexing right into here. Okay, right into this area. And now if I actually look at it on, say, a 3-hour chart as well, okay, I'm going to take the most extreme ends as well. This is how I see it, and extend it like that. What I notice, and we'll both agree on this as well, I'm sure, is that this region right here that I will squiggle for you guys to see, this region right here is a really heavy responsive region, right? If we take a look at the price action pretty much in these zones with the volume, we'll notice right away is this, right? What we'll notice right away is that heavy volume in these areas. Always heavy volume, okay? Massive volume. So anytime we get to that where the squiggle lines is in this particular region, we have a very strong likelihood of just bouncing back, right? So I need to consider myself two different types of zones, a key resistance area and a resistance area. This is my resistance right here, okay? This blue one is my resistance area that I'm mainly considering, but there's not a single second I'm gonna forget about this key resistance area that I see, which is much more responsive to bouncing back in these particular zones. Very high activity in that area. So now I'm left to wonder, right? You know, I'm sure we'll get some sort of bounce when we get to this lower region right here in that green box, perhaps right here around the 9,400 range. Very likelihood we'll bounce up to the resistance, and then we won't be able to break 10K again. And surely enough, this is where the 7 to 8K scenario unfortunately still comes in, guys. We can't forget about this wedge at all, okay? This is a major wedge in here, and I do believe we're still going to get there, guys. Like, as much as I want to believe that 10K holds and buyers are rushing in, the volume and the charts and the indicators are so mixed up right now that it's hard for me to believe that the bulls are even attempting to attack right now. I think that they're slightly trying, but the bears, they have them so far, like, you know, in up to their necks right now, that it's really hard for them to even start attacking. It's like the bulls are attacking right now, but their hands are tied and they're blindfolded, right? And they're making the most pity attempt right now. So do I think that we're gonna get to 13K? Like, what do you guys think, huh? You really think we're gonna break out from this, you know, since August 9 here range? Oh, geez, that's very unlikely. But if we do, let me show you guys how we get another scenario, okay? We take it from this end right here, all right? We take it from this end right here. Now, 14K, I don't think that's likely, guys. There's no way we're gonna break, first of all, this key resistance right here, right? And then break this key resistance right there, and then break this key resistance area. So anybody right now who thinks we might break 4K, like 14K, I think that's kind of a really long shot right now, and we're not factoring in so many other key resistances. There are a lot of hurdles right now, and Bitcoin right now is not really the best athlete to go on the offense, okay? Maybe if they were skiing downhill right now, you know, we can say they're highly excelling in that right now, but in terms of actually going uphill, not the best right now, okay? They're definitely not the best cross-country skiers at all right now. So I think we're going to end up down ticking You know, I think that we might even get to, my dog's up 11K right now, but there's a more likely chance that we're going to get to 9K regions. So as much as I would love to guess what's going to happen right now, this is more so a technical analysis that I'm providing for the short term, where something will happen in this key apex area where we could trend up to about $10,800 range, right? Right around here. 10,800, 10,900, or we will go, I think my dog needs to go outside, so I'm going to wrap it up. She usually gets up around this time at 12 or 1 to ask me to go outside, and then we might downtrend to 9,300. But the key thing to watch out for is this triangle. And now my long-term projections, unfortunately, after today, they still stand, guys, that I do believe we're gonna get to about, I'm gonna unfortunately say slightly lower than over here. I will unfortunately say between 85 to 9,000, around there. This is kind of extreme, the 9,500. I don't think we'll actually reach all the way there, right? I mean, if we look on historically as well, we see that these regions down here tend to be holding, where there's a lot of activity here, right? Like this region right there. But now, will that hold, or will this hold right here, unfortunately, right? That's where I think we'll likely end up getting to. This green box right here down the road, we'll say between 8,000 and 8,500 for down the road. I think it'll, if we free fall, like if we break right here around the 10,000 range, I think we're just gonna free fall like to 9K then, and then we're gonna break 9K, guys. We will guarantee see 8,000 to 8,500. So unfortunately, guys, my stance has officially changed to bearish. Sorry to say, guys, but my stance has now changed to bearish, and I don't think that we're gonna, or short term to medium term bearish, okay? I don't believe that we are gonna be entering any type of very bullish market for a while. I look at the daily MACD as well. I mean, let's take a look at it. Okay, guys, remember a few days ago I was talking about how this was probably gonna tick up for 1 or 2 and then come right back down? What is a very likely thing to happen is this, guys. Let me show you. All right, that is what's likely to happen, okay? What's likely to happen is, unfortunately, this. We're probably going to end up getting a triple histogram like this, okay? Probably going to get a triple histogram, and then we'll finally tick up. That's not for a while though, guys, and we see these all the time where histograms will also conform to a bearish diverging, okay? So maybe on the very last one, like we're talking about a week or two, that might be when we'll enter a more bullish market. But right now, I'm unfortunately changing my stance right now to a bearish stance, short term to medium term, and medium term to me is about 2-3 weeks at most. I do think we will enter eventually this territory between 8,000 to 8,500, and these are my quick thoughts for Bitcoin. I apologize if it was extremely long. I wanted to do a more in-depth one for a slightly longer term trend as well, because it's a new month, guys. New month is very important to look at things from a very fresh perspective and get a lot of reflection on what has happened in the past as well. So thank you very much for bearing with me. You guys know what you should do if you don't want to watch, watch all these videos. Just when you guys are driving or something, just play it in the car. Because if you've noticed, this could actually be a podcast as well, almost, right? You could actually listen to it on the go or something like that as well. So maybe add it to, I don't know, your car collection, so you guys are not in front of the computer all the time. Or if you're in the kitchen, if you're making food, if you're doing something else, just put it on the background. Because I like to narrate. I like to narrate the stories of Bitcoin with bulls and bears. So other than that, I really appreciate all of your time and your company, especially your support, guys. I would not have gotten to I think I'm over 60,000 subscribers and followers on YouTube and on Twitter combined now. Maybe 80,000 with like Reddit and Steemit and everything else combined on all social media. So I really do believe that in a few months, guys, that this might even be one of the top cryptocurrency channels that people will come to, and I will strive to make sure that there's always good content, and most importantly, it's honest, right? Honest, genuine, sincere, with the focus on helping the community always, without any selfish reasons for myself, because I want to see you guys succeed as much as I've seen myself succeed in the past 2 years with crypto. So other than that, please upvote this on Steemit, because you guys love me and I love you guys. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share as well this material if you found that it has helped you. And if I've helped you make money or anything in the past, or if you guys have taken a lot away from the information that I've provided, you're welcome to buy me a beer and donate to the cryptocurrency piggy bank. But guys, absolutely no obligation, okay? I really mean that. If you want to, you're welcome to, but all good. Just say, I really appreciate what you've done, and that makes me alone feel great. So have yourselves a great night. I promise that we will not do this detailed of a Bitcoin analysis again. This was more like a monthly wrap-up of what has been going on. Okay, guys? Thank you very much for your time, and we will talk to each other then. Bye now.